Hey guys, this is Oracle Daphne. My name is Beth, and I'm back again doing your mid-June 2015 monthly tarot horoscope. This is for everyone with their ascendant, sun, or moon in the lovely Gemini. I had laid out a spread. I had to stop my computer for a second, so I did shuffle and I'm just going with this spread. I am using my main deck by Stephanie Puy-Moonlaw, my Shadowscapes deck. And a lot of people are clamoring for my sex and relationships videos. Those probably won't be coming out for some time because of time constraints, basically. I have a lot of private clients and I don't have time to record these and those. It's just, staying up to like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. And I do it all myself. Other people have help, but I do it all myself. So it takes me a lot of time. So if you'd like, a private reading with me, feel free to email me, elizabetholson31@gmail.com, and we can set you up for a private reading. And I'm happy to use whatever deck you like. If you would like me to use, I've had lots of clients ask specifically for me to use the erotic deck, the Decameron deck that I was using for my sex and relationship videos. And it's very, very fun to do them. So whenever you want to, if that's something that you're interested in, let me know, and whatever deck you want to use is fine with me. So anyways, I do want to start off, I laid out the spread already. I do want to start off with the card in the position of the foundation, okay? And again, this is for everyone with their ascendant, sun, or moon in Gemini, okay? Now, this is the card, I call this the resentment card. This is the Six of Pentacles. And some of you have filed lawsuits. Some of you are in the middle of a lawsuit. Some of you are, waiting on a settlement with a lawsuit. Some of you are lawyers, and there's a strong legal feel about this card. And that's the foundation. So, for the settlement, for the foundation to be a settlement, it's actually really good because that means you coming to a point of agreement with somebody and you're putting it past. You're putting it past in the past. Okay, this is also the distant past. So you may have settled. You may have had a lawsuit with someone in the distant past and settled, which is awesome. Okay, and for those of you who are not in, the legal field, or those of you who are not, you just, having relationships, you're not doing a lawsuit of any kind. This is about equality or inequality in a relationship, okay? And chances are, Gemini, you're the person that's feeling like you're putting a lot into a relationship and you're not getting a lot out of it. Or even if you put a lot into it, your partner's not appreciating and supporting and acknowledging all your hard work and all your effort. This may be also a coworker situation that you feel, or a work situation that you feel, unloved and appreciated in a way. Where you're putting a lot of effort and energy into what you do, and maybe your boss isn't really noticing it or taking notice of that fact, and maybe they don't want to take notice of that fact, but there's resentment that's a result of this inequality in your relationship. A lot of times this can also be someone is making more money than the other person, and it's a point of contention. Some of you are in a relationship, or maybe were in a relationship in a distant past, where, either you or your partner was the sole breadwinner of the household, and there was one person staying home. And that person that was staying home was kind of looked down upon in the sense they weren't contributing to the household because they weren't out working, okay? You may have stayed home to take care of the kids, or you may have stayed home because of illness, or you may have stayed home for whatever other reason, but there's resentment there, okay, that you were unequal in a financial sense, okay, where someone was working and another person wasn't, okay? In a way, I'm beginning to think the word desperate housewife is coming to me, okay? you know, I'm beginning to think of the card as the desperate housewife. The housewife that feels unappreciated and unloved by their partner. And their partner is really not there much. But it's sort of like their partner holds them to some kind of crazy standard of what the expectations are for the household. And, you know, Gemini, you do the best you can, you know, and you do support your partner. It's not like you don't. So there's issues there. If you have issues with your partner, I am going to be doing couples counseling, okay? It's not going to happen for a while yet, I don't think. I may not start actually taking clients for couples counseling until July. But that's something that I'm going to be doing. So if you, you know, you and your partner want to do a therapy session, feel free to contact me. It's going to be gloves off, nothing held back, because I am psychic, and because, you know, it's going to show up in the cards if there's cheating going on. It's going to show up in the cards if there's resentment in your relationship. It's going to show up if there's lies being told. It's one of those things where if you want the real deal with the counseling, then that's me. So I'm going to let everybody know. I'm going to do a whole video on it actually when I start to do that. And haven't rolled that out yet. So, you know, keep it in the back of your mind. If that's something that you are interested in, you and your partner, definitely email me and let me know, and I can start a waiting list, and you'll be on the top of the list. Okay. So it's something that I just decided. I haven't even mentioned it in my other videos, so you're the first to know about this. So anyways, that's the foundation. So that colors the reading. So there's, you know, issues in partnerships, or issues at work, or issues with a lawsuit are going on, and it's kind of clouding you a little bit. Now, financially, you're doing very well. You got the Ace of Pentacles, which is the money card. You are so money right now. And there's really not much to say. I mean, this is the cash card. I mean, this is the cash tree. It just reminds me of someone who used to say that. So yeah, this is the cash tree card. So, you know, for those of you who have a money tree, this is when, you know, the money tree starts really producing, okay? You know, and you're just collecting, you know. I don't really, you know, Geminis, you know, kind of fluctuate. They go back and forth one way or the other when it comes to finances, because there's two sides. There's the big spender, and then there's the spendthrift, you know. So there's two sides. I mean, some of them like their luxury, and some of them could care less about luxury, and they just want food and groceries and the basics. You know, they're very simple, okay? So you can go either way with Geminis. And what's crossing you is you got the wish card, which is really awesome. And the wish card is getting your wish. And I am going to pull another card for that, because it's not really linking up with anything. And this is interesting. Wow. Okay, so generally, when the wish card comes up and I pull a card, if I pull a positive card, it's very easy, okay? It's like you're wishing for a new relationship, or for example, okay? But if a negative card comes up, then this is something that you need to get over, that you're wishing to get past, that you're wishing to move on from, okay? And I pulled 3 cards, actually, and 2 of them were negative. So there's several things that you need to kind of, hurts that you need to get past. And one of them is the 3 of Swords, which is heartbreak, trauma, sadness, loneliness, loss, suffering, sacrifice. I mean, this is intense, you know? This is intense pain, you know? So some of you are just needing to kind of get past heartbreak and get over, you know, like a heartache. And, you know, for this card, I usually say time is the best medicine, because in time, you heal from it. I don't see that you have any cord of attachment issues, but then again, I'd want to do a personal reading to see if you have any. It's hard to say. Some of you may, and some of you may not. The cord of I'm not sure if you guys know what cords of attachment are, but if you have a cord of attachment with somebody, and it's like an ex-boyfriend, ex-husband, ex-girlfriend, ex-wife, somebody that's not in your life, even somebody, this could indicate somebody that's passed away that you're struggling to deal with, okay? And I'm sorry, for your loss there. But this is one of those things that you can still have a cord of attachment to someone who's passed away. And so this is where I would definitely recommend a private reading. Because it feels to me that if you got your heart broken by this person, I would recommend either a heart healing, or removing the cord of attachment if this person's no longer in your life, and you broke up and it's done and it's over with, so that it doesn't cause you additional pain. It will help you kind of get over it. However, you also got this Two of Swords following that, okay? And that's somebody who's emotionally unavailable, okay? So, the problem here is that you got hurt because chances are the person that you like, or the person that you were involved with or in a relationship with, is emotionally unavailable, okay? This is also a disagreement. So, your wish is in a way to kind of get over the hurt from this disagreement, or this person who's who's maybe no longer connecting with you. And this is someone who's maybe ignoring you, or this may be someone who's in another relationship and you want to be with them. Here's the problem, though, with this card. If somebody's in another relationship, it's not going to happen. Even though it's the wish card, I'm here to tell you that some things you have to be careful what you wish for. And some things aren't meant to be. Okay, let's just put it that way. And if you're holding your heart out to somebody and they're emotionally unavailable because they're in a relationship with somebody else, chances are that's not meant to be. Okay, it's not meant to be for a reason. Okay, so you may be waiting on somebody to come back. You may be waiting on this person to change, to start loving you, or start treating you better, or start connecting with you, or talking with you, or communicating better. But this is somebody who chances are won't, because they're at that point where they don't want to. Okay, unless you're in a strong disagreement with someone. In that case, chances are, I don't feel like you're going to communicate better. I just feel like it's going to get, I don't know, this may sound negative to you, but I just feel like it's going to get worse. I feel like they're at this point, and the reason I say this, they're at this point where they don't want to connect, okay? They're like, no, it's over, we're done, disagreement strong. You're going to have to agree to disagree, and that's not you, Gemini. You, Gemini, is like, but I want them to agree with me because of X, Y, Z, and they should agree with me because of X, Y, Z. And so I feel like I don't feel like you're going to agree. That's my feeling. I feel like it is possible for you to get over this hurt and pain. It depends on if you continue to press forward with this person, whoever this person is, this Two of Swords person. It's not going to go. It's not going to go anywhere. It's not going to work. You're going to try, and it's going to, they're going to make you feel like your efforts are wasted, or you're going to try and they may make you feel like an ass for trying, that's kind of how I feel. And then, I pulled a third card just to see if we get something positive going for you guys. And to me, this is the Knight of Cups, and I think this is the classic guy who comes and goes. This is the classic waiting for him to come right back into your life, a little animated. He rides out of your life and then he rides into your life, what I mean? So chances are this guy, he may ride back into your life, but you're in a cycle, and this cycle isn't healthy, okay? And so even if he does ride back into your life, even if that is what you're wishing for, you want him to come back, he's not talking to you, it's not healthy for you. You don't want him to in the end. Actually, I should say, you shouldn't want him to, but you do. You shouldn't want him to because he's not good for you. Because chances are he's in a relationship with somebody else, or he's just emotionally unavailable and he doesn't want the relationship. So these are things to consider, okay? So that's what's going on, like in the heart of the reading. So it's just a lot of interesting stuff. In the recent past, you got the Hermit card, which is needing to kind of come out of the cave and go into the world, and I feel like maybe you got this card before, kind of start reconnecting with society or needing to go into the cave. And I generally feel like Geminis need to go out of the cave. In this case, though, I feel like some of you Geminis are moving. You're planning a move. You may have recently moved, but I feel like you are going to be moving again, okay? If you recently moved, I'm sorry to tell you this, but chances are you're going to be moving again, okay? Or you're going to be buying a house, or you're going to be doing something bigger, you know? I feel like it's bigger. You know, I don't feel like you're going to be downsizing. I feel like you're going to be going the next level up, you know, whatever that is. Bigger house, bigger backyard, bigger swimming pool. Let me know if you got a swimming pool. That would be awesome. So we have those two things, you know, connecting. And then we have the Knight of Swords as what's crowning you, which I feel like is you, okay? And that's you getting what you want, being determined to get what you want, using your sword, which is your tongue. Very good. Geminis are very good communicators. To get what you want, being determined, and fighting the good fight. The thing about this card in this position is just very interesting. There's a lot of movement, I will say, in this spread. A lot of movement. We've got this Hermit, which is facing this direction, okay? And the Hermit's looking back on the past and processing everything, okay? And now we've got the Knight of Swords, who's looking at that direction, who's, you know, looking in the future and going into battle and charging ahead, you know. I mean, I don't really see Geminis as being the charge type, but let me know if you're a little bit aggressive, okay? Some of you may come off as aggressive, but really deep down inside, you're really mush. Most Geminis will have, even the big Gemini guys, even those guys with, you know, the big muscles. Some of you have muscles, you know, send me some pictures, okay? Muscles, okay? It's all for show, you know, because really deep down, you're just a sensitive, sweet soul. So, you know, that's how I see it, okay? Now, in the position of the immediate future, you got the Seven of Wands in the reverse position, which is making up after a fight, okay? So in the upright, it's arguments and fighting, and then kissing and making up is the reverse, kissing and making up. I should draw a little heart there between them in this position. This is to start talking again. This is to negotiate peace, love, and harmony. It's another negotiate card. So this is actually really good if you are in a lawsuit, because you're going to be going into negotiations soon, okay? Now, lawsuits take forever, okay? So if you are waiting for something like that to happen, because the Hermit card is also a card about waiting and being patient, I feel like you can't hold me to, you can't hold it to, you know, I'm not legally responsible for your lawsuit settling, you know, soon. You can't hold me accountable for that, because lawsuits take forever, okay? So if you do settle soon, that is awesome. If you don't, this also may be in regarding your relationships, okay? If you don't settle soon, don't hate me, okay? That's what I'm trying to say here. But yeah, in relationships, this is stress. This is arguing, making up. Arguing, making up. You're in the makeup phase. but this is a card. I call this a bobber. I know I have all these kind of crazy terms for my cards, but to me, there's certain cards that can kind of go one way or the other really easily. Okay, it's like, to me, this Knight of Cups, which we were talking about earlier, is a bobber. He could ride into your life and he can ride out of your life. You know what I mean? He could be emotionally stable one minute and then emotionally like a basket case, crying, crazy, you know, just not together, um, in over his head with women. That could be you. So I wouldn't be surprised if that was you. Very easily. So for you to get a couple of bobber cards in going back and forth, it's very typical of Gemini, but also, I wouldn't be surprised if you kiss and make up with your wife or your partner in the immediate future, but then go back into being stressed out and arguing later down the line. Okay, this is like a armistice that gets broken. It's a ceasefire. It's like a temporary ceasefire. Eventually, you're gonna start fighting again. History repeats itself. Okay, so I hate to say that and be negative, but that's the truth. So, where was I going with this? Oh yeah. So I was talking a little bit about, a lot of different cards about movement. You may have switched gears recently where you're going one way and then you decided to go another, to me, this is like unexpected movement, very kind of chaotic movement. The outcome is the Knight of Pentacles, and the Knight of Pentacles is also moving in that direction, okay? So, which is good. This is forward movement. This is full speed ahead. This is also going too fast, okay? Gemini, this is you not stopping to smell the roses. This is you driving too fast, going too fast through your work, going too fast, with your goals. Now, I don't want to I think in my last reading, I told you to kind of get going, so I feel slightly guilty because in one video I tell you to get moving, and now that you are, I'm telling you to slow down. I want to clarify by telling you that this energy, sort of towards I'd say at the end of June, the tail end of June, needs to be kind of tempered, okay? Needs to be the balance, okay? There's two sides to Gemini, so there's a balance needed here. For those of you ladies, you may end up dating a Scorpio guy. I see a lot of this is a Scorpio guy, okay? Or Cancer guy. However, this may be a person who's riding out of your life for good, okay, as well. But I think primarily for the most of you, it's just needing to slow down and kind of find the balance between going during your day, rushing here, there, and everywhere, and then passing out and dying. Okay, it's not a healthy balance. So take like a walk, a slow, medium paced walk somewhere, and I think that'll help you a lot to, or do something that's just kind of slow and easy going, to kind of find I think it'll help you find the balance, okay? So we also have a couple of interesting cards here. So on top of it all, we have this Empress card, which is coming in from the outside, which is what the universe is like encouraging you to do. And that's being creative. That's using your creative talents to make things. This is the person that sews. This is the person that paints. This is the person that does watercolor. This is the person that, maybe planting in their garden this summer. It's one of those things. There's a lot of different ways to be creative, okay? And it's not just drawing or painting, okay? Some of you, do photography. That's creative. Some of you do really, dance. That's creative. So I mean, this can also indicate crafts, you know, making crafts. And I think of Etsy when I think of this card, Etsy. Um, but this is also romance. This is also, um, you know, the power to achieve your heart's desire, which is really, really, really positive. I feel like the last, and I feel a strong tingle on that, I feel like the last week in June is a key time for you. Things are going to be really good. I feel like things have been a little bit chaotic for you, especially the first part of June. It wouldn't be surprising because we've got the Mercury retrograde going on and it's kind of push-pulling people. But this is really great. Some of you also may be meeting the love of your life. Um, because this is romance, okay? This is someone who's you maybe not expecting to meet, but you just meet them and it's suddenly just like, whoa, they're amazing, you know, really cool person. This may be her if you're a Gemini guy. This may be her, someone who's an artist, someone who's creative, someone who's different. The word is different. This is a very powerful person. Don't underestimate her, okay? If she comes into your life and she is creative, she's she's a summer fairy, but she's very magical, okay? And she does a lot with her hands, and like basically everything she touches and everything she creates is very healing and creative and special. You know, she's a special person. So if you meet her, don't let her go, okay? Those of you who are already in a relationship, because I feel like some of you are in a relationship, I feel like the challenge for you is to kind of stop arguing and come to points of agreement and make kind of set some boundaries. I feel like that needs to kind of happen, you know? And then there's a third camp of people that need to come to a place where they let this person go. This is the bloody wanker card, also known as an asshole, okay? Someone who's just a dickwad, okay? I could keep going on derogatory names for this person, but I won't. Because you have the dictionary at your fingertips. You can Google, the English language and figure out, any colorful metaphors that, come to mind or that you need to describe this person who is either ignoring you or someone who's cut you out of their life or someone who's hurt you. Typically it's somebody who's being selfish because they're in another relationship, and so that's why they're the bloody wanker, okay? So some of you need to get over this person. You did get the Judgment card, okay? So the Judgment card is a new start. Emotionally, you need to start over again. You need to say, okay, flush to the bloody wanker. He's out of my life, or she's out of my life. Come up with different adjectives for the females. Gemini guys, if you're a Gemini guy, we can come up with adjectives for the females too. I don't think we really need to go there. But back to the Judgment card. Okay, so the Judgment card is all about looking back at the past and coming to terms with the choices that you made. Now, it takes for Gemini forever to make a decision in general. So chances are you're looking back and you're saying, why the fuck did I do that? That was a total fucking epic failure, and you're like, But here's the thing. You have to forgive yourself for making those choices in that time, in that time, at that time, I should say, at that time, because you didn't know how it was going to affect you today. We don't know how, in the moment, we're going to affect our future, okay? All our choices affect us in the future, but we don't really know how exactly. We make decisions and we make choices, and they're either, I call it on a scale of 0 to 0 being very, very poor decision to 10 being the best decision, okay? I feel like you may have made some poor decisions regarding relationships, regarding people who are unavailable, regarding people who are in another relationship. You may have gotten sucked in to that, and that's normal. It happens to people every day, all the time. The main thing is to actually forgive yourself for choosing that. It's time to choose something else. It's time to choose something that's better for you, okay? So it's all about really laying the past to rest. But it's also a fresh start. So it's sort of like you've been given a fresh start. I feel like Gemini, and I feel like you are going to heal from this stuff that you've been going through in relationships, this pain that you may have been going through in relationships. So and I also feel like the move is going to help you. I don't know why the move seems really positive to me. So if you have a chance to move or you're thinking about moving, the move is going to be really great for you. I feel like if you're moving with a partner and if you're getting like a house, you've been living in an apartment, or you live in a small house and you're getting a bigger house or whatever, it's going to give you space. It's going to give you space where you're not all up in each other's grills. I mean, you can kind of just like space out and kind of have your own space. I think it's really going to help. Air signs need space. So Gemini, I feel like you need space just like everybody else does. And I think that's going to be really great for you. Yeah, that's all that I'm really getting. I will say that I'm really proud of you for taking steps forward in your relationships, because I feel like for a long time, things have been challenging for you, and I feel like you are taking some really strong strides, and I'm getting a tingle on this, to make really positive changes for yourself. And you're saying, okay, no to the bloody wanker asshole. I'm done with that. Thanks, goodbye. You're moving on, and I want to applaud you there because that's awesome. Okay, so give yourself a pat for that, and just continue to be cool. Geminis are always cool. So, and let me know if you'd like a private reading. I'd love to get you scheduled. Thank you so much for your subscribing and messaging and all that lovely stuff. I just, I wish you all the best. So I'm going to send you big hugs, big kisses. And I will talk to you guys again soon. Okay, take care.